I'm wilding.
Your Reuters news update will begin after this.
Welcome to Ray and Everything. We talk about Ray and everything. I'm wilding. I'm supposed to take the trash out real quick. I'm wilding. But anyway, man, I just wanted to tap in real quick to talk about a couple of things on this channel. One, I want to talk about the science of Shawn Porter and that last fight with Terence Crawford. Shawn Porter's last fight with Terence Crawford. Okay, back to what I was saying. I apologize, y'all. So, I don't know why I'm looking back. I got a backwards camera. So yeah, I seen after. I don't know if anybody gonna see it, but if you ever find some footage of after Shawn Porter beats Ugas, and Shawn Porter gets that belt. He beats Ugas for the belt, which he kind of lost, but they gave him the win, right? Because everybody wanted to see the Shawn Porter Errol Spence fight. So I get why they gave him the win. So no, I think it was after. No, because remember, it was after Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia. That's what it was after. It was after Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia. And Shawn Porter beat Danny Garcia for the belt. So y'all excuse me, it wasn't after Shawn Porter Ugas, because Shawn Porter was pretty hurt after the Ugas fight. So after Shawn Porter beats Danny Garcia, they all getting ready for the press conferences, right? They all getting ready for the press conference. Errol is over there. Errol's sitting down. Shawn Porter standing up. He's on the other side, like they're standing behind the tables. I don't even know why Errol Spence was even doing over there, but he was just over there. Errol Spence is a star when it comes to boxing, so he basically can walk where he wants. So he's over there, and he looks over there at Shawn Porter with that belt, and Spence says, "I'm gonna get that belt," right? And Errol's not looking. The camera's looking at Shawn, and Shawn is looking at Errol Spence like, I could see it in his soul. He was like, man, I hate this guy. So, fast forward. This is all my point to say this. Shawn Porter, when he was getting prepared for Errol Spence, that was the fight of his life. He was being bullied. He was fighting the big bully. He was fighting he was fighting the bully of the division, and he was gonna prepare like he never prepared, because this was the fight that not only did he want to prove to the world that he was one of the best, but he also wanted to prove to himself that he wasn't gonna be bullied by this guy. And his dad had been telling him how good Errol is, and he had been hearing that for a long time, and they had already been sparring before in those Olympic training centers, and Errol was kind of getting the best of him then. So he really had a real chip on his shoulders going into that Errol Spence fight. And that's why he did so good in that Errol Spence fight. That's why he did so good, because he really put it all on the line in that fight. He really was into that fight. Like he was going to get all the respect he needed to get out of Errol Spence. And he did. He got it. Fast forward to Shawn Porter versus Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is halfway his friend, halfway not. It's a mandatory. Shawn Porter's dad is pressuring him to fight Terence Crawford. He really don't want to. He's in a podcast. He hasn't really fought in years. He really doesn't care to fight anymore. And so you got those results because Shawn Porter's heart was into it. If that would have been the Shawn Porter that fought Errol Spence, Crawford would have lost that fight. Crawford would have lost that fight. And so when they do the comparison between Errol Spence and Shawn, Errol Spence and Porter and Terence Crawford and Porter, it's not a fair comparison because it was so many different. It was just so much difference. It was so many different variables that went into that. It was a lot of different variables that went into that. And if anybody knows, I'm not young. I'm not a spring chicken, but I've been in the streets enough to know when you gotta fight that bully, and you get prepared to fight that bully, and you get to prepare to fight that bully. Oh, that bully gonna get it. You gonna give it to that bully. That bully gonna get all he gonna after that fight. He ain't gonna want to fight you no more. And so suffice to say that it's not a good comparison to use Shawn Porter in between the two, because it's just a lot of different dynamics in regards to where Shawn Porter was in his career when he fought Errol Spence and where Shawn Porter was in his career when he fought Terence Crawford. It's just not a good dynamic to use him in that regard. And people may not see the footage, or they may see the footage. If somebody sees this and hears this and goes back and see the footage, they'll see how much fire Shawn Porter had in himself, in regards to that Errol Spence fight. And maybe someday somebody will ask him. Maybe someday I'll get to ask him. Rain everything. Out.